Good morning, everyone from all parts of the world. Welcome to the Morning Devotion Show. My name is Grace, and with me in the studio, I have Joshua and Tuluwa Lashe. Joshua, do you want to say hello to our listeners?
Hello, wonderful people. It's a privilege to be here. Good morning.
It's definitely a privilege. Tuluwa Lashe, do you want to say hello as well?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. All right. So we use the Euphoria of Light devotional on this show. And today, this morning, we are talking about an interesting topic. And it's basically don't settle for less. Yes, you heard that right. Don't settle for less. Most times when we hear this, or let me speak for myself, when I hear this, it's usually in connection or relation to relationships when they're saying, oh, don't settle for the wrong man, no, don't settle for the wrong woman, don't settle for less. But, we're not really looking at the relationship part today. It's way more than that, right? But I'm curious to know, Tolu share, when you hear don't settle for less, when have you heard it? In what context have you heard this used mostly? So what came to mind immediately?
I've heard that sentence over and over again. As a young girl, as a teenager, as a young adult, I've heard it over and over again. And
Imagine.
in the context of marriage,
Marriage. I knew it. Is it the same for you, Joshua?
Well, for me, it goes beyond that. Of course, in the context of marriage, I would say it's overflogged. It's been beaten to death.
Yeah.
But basically, in every other aspect, like generally, a lot of issues of life, yeah, I think we do get to hear don't settle for less, academics,
Okay.
yeah, a lot of things. Yeah.
All right, then. Let's jump right in. So I'm sure everyone has heard this popular saying, half a loaf is better than none. Or in a more, localized African speak, half bread is better than puff puff. But really, half a loaf is better than none. And when you think about it, it seems to be the other day. It seems like logical, right? Why not take half a loaf, instead of taking nothing at all? So that makes people, people settle for whatever they can find instead of what they initially desired and expected. Because when you say half a loaf is better than none, what you wanted is a full loaf, maybe a whole slice of bread. Like, I mean, a whole, yeah, loaf, but like the sliced version. I know some people, I don't know if Joshua is sitting on this table, but they are able to finish an entire loaf of 20 slices of bread, right? And that's
I'm
what they
actually jumping on the table. I want to go big.
can you imagine? Don't break the table, please. So what they originally wanted is that full loaf, right? But then maybe half a loaf is what's available from wherever or however they were going to get it. And so, this has just become a thing in society, right? Don't just take whatever you can find. Just forget about the become content with whatever they can extract from life. You hear people say, oh, how are you? They say, I'm surviving, whatever they can just get, they are fine with it, right? So you see a man or a woman, they set out with a dream to be the best the nation has ever seen. And then they end up only competing in their local neighborhood, right? And that's just so sad to see. People with great dreams, they often become, mere shadows of those dreams because people have told them, oh, just settle for this one now. I know you want this thing, but at least this one is within reach. Your local government is within reach, even though you want the entire nation, even though you want the world, you want even more nations outside of your original birth, nation. And they just say, oh, make do with this, right? So many people with great dreams, they're just a shadow of those dreams. Do you have any, maybe a past personal experience, or someone close to you, or a story close to you, or something that you've experienced, where you've seen someone really just settle, take the half loaf instead of the full loaf that Joshua is able to finish eating, for example. Joshua, do you have any story close to home like this?
Okay, first off, for me, I think I will just talk about back in school, right? So back then, I think I went for a particular qualification. I don't want to mention the name right now. So I was done, right? Literally done. I could just go get a job. I wasn't satisfied. There was something still higher. And people were telling me, hey, dude, you finished well. You came top, stops of the class, of the faculty. If you just go get a job. But for me, I wanted more. So I just felt, no, people look down on this particular qualification. I just still wanted more. So, there were a lot of words. I just prayed about it. And with the leading of the Holy Spirit, I went further. And yeah, today it's a very, very beautiful story. So yeah, most times people just settle for less, even when you know deep down that I can do better than this, I can do more than this. God has equipped me with more than this. So why not let's just put that, all the qualities inherent in you, the capacity that God has, put in you, inbuilt, right? Why not just let's put it to use, utilize them to the glory of God and go for the very best, not the little, right? Let
Yeah.
alone the less.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure that resonates with someone. Toluwalashe, do you have any maybe personal experience, or just of someone or something?
Why do I feel this topic is relating to me directly? Relating to me directly. It's a very interesting topic, and it just feels like a motivational reminder that we should not compromise on our true value or vision.
Yeah.
Just like Joshua had said, most of us growing up as young adults, we're filled with dreams and ambitions, and we're really ambitious. Example, myself. But after the hustle and bustle of the Nigerian educational system, you manage to get yourself through school, your house. The next thing that comes to your head is, I want to get a job. First and foremost, it's bad enough that the course that you really wanted to study, you were deprived of it. So let's say you wanted to be a medical doctor. At the end of the day, by whatever happened, they gave you, let's say, fishery or Greek. You say, well, let me just go to the university. There's a compromise somewhere. You are compromising on your true self, who you really want to be, what you really want to be. Like then you're out of the agricultural, whatever you went to study. The next thing is, I came up with the second class. That's fair enough. Let me just go into the labor market. Then you find a job you can't find. Then the next thing is they tell you, POS business. There's money in it. Let's delve into it. But of course, you're looking for daily meal, daily bread.
Yeah.
You've forgotten your ambition totally, and you just found yourself on the streets of Lagos doing all sort of also. So it's way below. So you really, really settled for less. And that's not the plans of God for our lives.
At all. You know what? I feel like this is just something that a lot of people, resonate. Everybody, just like the example, both of you have given, to Laura, especially the school one. You literally, most people they settle with half a loaf, something else, not what they actually wanted to study, and everything just becomes interesting from there. But despite everything, right, what God is saying to us, what I am saying to you this morning is never settle for less. Never settle for less, no matter what happens, no matter what, your environment, the society, no matter what dysfunction, is going on around you and will make you settle. Never settle for less. A lot of times, you're tempted to compare your impact, your results, your neighbor, or that seems, or someone that it seems like they're doing well, right? And that sort of gives you solace or some consolation, simply because you are doing better than them. So you see someone you're doing better than, you're like, at least my own is not bad. Share, I have I
Mm.
still have hope more than this person, or I'm doing something. And sometimes it's unconscious, right? That comparison you have. And the funny thing is there'll always be someone who seems to be doing not as good as you, same as someone else who might be doing better than you, right? And so you just, become complacent because you feel like, oh, at least you're doing better than someone. But let me just bust your bubble right there. And I'm not really sorry to bust your bubble. You can only, and you're only allowed to benchmark your life against what God has said about you, not your neighbor. Your neighbor is on a completely different journey, completely different trajectory, right? What has God said about you? What has God said about you, Stella? What has God said about you, Tolua? What has God said about you, Joshua? What has God said about Grace? What has God said about Jason? That is the benchmark that you have when you want to do any form of comparison whatsoever. It's not with your neighbor, it's not with your friend who you think you're doing better than. It's with your own self, what God has said. So imagine a lady whom God has destined to become the first female president of her nation. And imagine if all she achieves is winning an award for the best cookbook or for the best cook in a local cooking competition for wives, right? She'll be celebrated greatly. She might even trend, somewhere and like, oh my God, look at this cooking show out of, I don't want to mention any country, so it doesn't seem like we're dragging them. But a small cooking show from, a local place, a locality in a nation, right, for wives. And there's, just a lot of celebration, and you become a celebrity in your local environment. The president does not even invite the person for any special recognition. It's just maybe three more localities, and you are just so popular. Like, wow, have you tasted that woman's pasta? It's so amazing. Well, that's good, but she was originally destined by God to become the first female president. So when you compare that, so when you compare both, you see how far off, one is from the other. So again, don't settle for less. What has God said about you? There are things that God has written about you, prophecies, promises, from God that have gone ahead of you. That is what we should strive, right? So the people around you, how maybe family, maybe their friends, maybe it's just the society reinforcing some things. They don't know these things that God has said about you. You are the one who knows. So you hold on to it dearly. So even if they are saying, take this half loaf, take this half bread, you know, um, half bread better than puff puff, like we were saying earlier. Take this, substandard version of the main thing. You should say no, because guess what? It's not their responsibility to achieve that, because you don't have the same vision, do you? Right? I'm here right now. I'm in Toluwa, I'm in Joshua. I don't know what conversations they've had. I don't know what conversation Joshua has had with his wife, for example. He doesn't know what conversation I've had maybe with my mom, with my husband, right? So he will not understand the moves, the actions that I make, right? And so even if he might encourage me to do something that is lesser than the main thing that I should attain for. So what God is saying, don't settle for less. What has he written about you? No matter the situation, no matter the challenges, no matter the state of your finances, never ever settle for less. If you are listening right now, no matter what it is you're doing, I want you to just say a little thing under your breath, just in case maybe you are in a place where it's crowded or if it's just you. Just tell yourself, like, let your consciousness hear it. Say, I will never settle for less. I will never settle for less. Just hold on to the promises of God and wage war with the prophecies that God has spoken over you. Insist and don't settle for less. Has this inspired you, Joshua? Has this inspired you? Tell me what's running through your mind right now.
It does. It just keeps inspiring me. I can like even add it to the fire, right? Because yeah, most times we tend to, like you rightly mentioned earlier, compare ourselves with others, and I think I just need to point out that the less we're talking about here is what God has told you. So we have mentioned what's it called now? We have mentioned the career, medicine, and all of that in our analogies and illustrations. It doesn't mean maybe those courses are lesser or not. But basically, what has God told you? What are your dreams? So
Yeah.
I think that point is made that is the less we are talking about here. Go for what God has told you with full confidence and do not compromise. You will get there. Thank you very much.
Yes, definitely. We're bringing the show to a close. But Toluwa, what are your last words? Do you have any last words for the listeners on holding on to the promise or not settling for less? It can also be to yourself.
Okay. I would just like to encourage the listeners to aim higher. Yes, instead of choosing something just because it's easy and convenient. No, convenience doesn't make it. Aim higher.
Yeah.
Value yourself. Place enough value on yourself. Do not go for low quality opportunities or relationships that does not bring out the best in you.
Thank you so much. That was really an amazing way to wrap up. So, finally, don't settle for less. I know you said that under your breath when I asked you to. So, you can just keep reminding that I will not settle for less. Don't settle for less. I'm just going to leave you with a Bible text, some Bible text from Ephesians 3, verse 19 to 20, reading from the NKJV version. It says, verse 19, to know the love of Christ which passes knowledge, that you may be filled with all the fullness of God. And 20, now to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. Now it's time for our declaration. I always look forward to this part of the show, the declaration. Are you ready to declare? I walk in supernatural acceleration. I have recovered all lost time and every delay is cancelled. I operate on heaven's calendar, achieving great feats in compressed time. I have unstoppable momentum. I am renewed by the Spirit, and I run with endurance. My heart is on fire for God, and I refuse to be weary in well doing. Amazing. Those are powerful words that we just declared. And we've come to the end of the devotion show this morning. So, do you want to say bye to our listeners, Joshua, and then we'll have Tolua?
Bye, dear listeners. It's been a wonderful session. See you on the next.
Tolua, let's have you say bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a good day ahead. God bless you.
All right. It's bye from this end. Remember, you can listen over and over and over again. You can share with everyone. You can make this a part of your morning routine, right? Starting the day, in an amazing way. We do this every morning, 7 a.m. West African time, same, same channel, every day. See you tomorrow. Have a wonderful, productive rest of your day. God bless you. Bye. Remember, never settle for less.
There's a generation of women rising. Women called by God to lead, to create, to influence, and to advance the kingdom. The Kingdom Women Accelerator program is a free 3 months online journey designed to equip Christian women to fulfill their God-ordained purpose, advancing the kingdom through dominion, wealth, and influence in every sphere. Whether you're in business, career, or ministry, this program will help you rise with clarity, confidence, and capacity to impact your world. Women who join this journey have found boldness to lead, wisdom to grow, and faith to walk in their divine assignment. This is your time to arise, step into purpose, walk in power, and influence every sphere God places you in. Join the Kingdom Women Accelerator program today. and become the woman God designed you to be.
For my house shall be called a house of prayer. Across the nations, men and women are turning to God, building an altar of faith where prayers never go out. Every day, at 12 noon and 8 p.m. West African time, hearts connect across continents in one voice of prayer. Welcome to the House of Prayer, streaming live on Praise TV, where the fire never goes out and God still answers prayers.